1st, so August is finished. September is here. With that comes fall. I'm so excited for fall. I'm ready for some cooler weather. We do have a couple holidays in September. We have Labor Day next Monday, so that's really exciting. And then Tuesday, the 8th, is actually a teacher work day, so we don't have to do any instruction that day. What else we got? On the 22nd is the official first day of fall or autumn. On September 13th, it's Grandparents' Day. So if you see your grandparents that day, make sure to hug them real tight. And then on the 25th is actually Native American Day. That's pretty cool. And then one last thing, on Thursday, September 17th, is Constitution Day and Citizenship Day. So maybe we'll have to do some learning about that. But really excited that September is here and fall is coming. So we're going to click on Tuesday. We're starting with our morning meeting, live instruction. Thank you guys for joining. Then we're going to break into our small group reading. After this, you're going to do your unique learning. And then don't forget about your new second reading small group you have, either PCI or Extended Content Standards. And so with each one of those, you have an assignment from Tuesday. Make sure you complete that and make sure you hit submit so we can see that you did it, okay? So after our reading small groups, we're going to have Ms. Bryson live at 10:20. So excited to see what she has in store for us today. And then your math small group in unique learning. Just be ready because next week we're starting some more math. So enjoy that you just have unique this week. And then last but not least, you have your Mars rover assignment for Tuesday, and your links are right there. Here, I'll click on it and show it to you guys. So group 1 and group 2, you can see you have a Mars rover Tuesday assignment for News to You. Make sure you hit submit. If you're watching this later, you already know how to get to our YouTube videos, but at the bottom of my page, and Ms. Bryson's is very similar. You can see our link to our reading or our math videos. I just think this little page is the cutest with my little baby Simba here. So just so you guys can see, it takes us to our YouTube page, and the math takes Ms. Bryson to her YouTube page. We're going to be YouTube famous. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump into our unique learning for today, if everyone's okay with that. Don't see any questions in our chat bar. So today is our second day of reading chapter 2 of our book, Making New Laws. And so yesterday we read it, and today we're just going to read it again and go a little more in depth. So let's go ahead and get started.
Chapter 2, Making New Laws. Before we make our classroom rules, we should learn about how laws are made, says Mr. Landry. We can use the same process to make our rules. What will the class use to learn about how laws are made? They can use books, websites, or videos. Mr. Landry chooses to show the students a video of how laws are made.
So there's so many different ways now that we can get information. You know, back in the olden days, you know, our grandparents, they had to go to the library and look at a book. But now we have websites, we have videos. You can go to YouTube and learn how to do anything. So we're really fortunate that we have so many ways that we can get information. And Mr. Landry is choosing to show his students a video, which is kind of like how me and Bryson like to do too. We like to start off with a video for you guys.
The first leaders of our country wrote the U.S. Constitution. They worked together to decide what laws we should have. They knew we would need more laws in the country. The leaders wrote down how to make a new law in the U.S. Constitution.
So what document tells us how laws are created? Does anyone know? You can put it in the chat bar. You can speak up in class if you know. What document tells laws are created? Yes, Tyler? What did our first leaders of our country write?
U.S. Constitution.
That's right. The U.S. Constitution is a document that tells how laws are made. Good job.
How are new laws made? First, leaders look for problems. A problem is something that is hard to understand and deal with. Then, leaders work together in groups to think of ways to solve the problem. Next, leaders choose the best way to solve the problem. Finally, a new law is made.
So who makes new laws? Anyone know? If you're watching from home, feel free to put it in the chat box. Who makes the laws? Tyler? Leaders. Leaders make the law. Yes.
What does leaders first?
The letter L. So leaders make our laws.
Before a law is made, there must be a problem. Leaders can see problems, or people can tell their leaders about problems they see. For example, the leaders see a problem with car accidents. They see that more people get hurt in car accidents when they do not wear their seat belt.
So just to reiterate, the first step of making a law is identifying the problem. We have to know what we're fixing. We have to identify that problem first.
After leaders know what the problem is, they work together to solve it. They meet in a small group first. They talk about ways to solve the problem. One leader thinks people should be able to choose to wear a seat belt. Another leader thinks that people should have to wear a seat belt in cars, buses, or trains. The leaders do not agree.
So after they identify that problem, they're going to talk about it. They're going to use their voices and share their opinions about how to fix the problem.
The leaders must compromise. A compromise is when people agree on a decision. The group talks about all of the ways to solve the problem. Finally, they decide that people should have to wear seat belts in cars only or pay a fine.
So finally, they make a compromise and they all agree on a decision.
The small group of leaders now tells their ideas to the big group of leaders. They tell the rest of the leaders about their idea to solve the problem. All of the leaders will then vote to make the idea become a law. If most of the leaders like the idea, then it will become a law.
So they have to take a vote, and if most of the leaders like the idea, then it will become a law.
The small group tells the other leaders that people should have to wear a seatbelt in cars. If someone chooses not to wear a seatbelt, then they will have to pay a fine, or give the government money. All the leaders vote. Many of the leaders agree, so the idea becomes a law. That seems like a lot of work to get a new law, says William. It is a lot of work, says Mr. Landry. It is good that more people help to make laws. This helps to make sure that the laws and rules make things fair and help keep people safe.
All right, so I'm going to jump over to some of our questions for the day to go over. These are our more advanced questions. All right, so Mr. Landry chooses to show the students a blank of how the laws are made. Does anyone remember what he decided to show first? You remember?
Well, I remember.
Did he show a video or did they go to a website?
It is very important in the video.
he decided to show a video of how laws are made. Number 2.
Therefore, this video.
The leaders wrote down how to make a new law in the blank. Remember, it's that document that we said our leaders made that tell how laws are made. The U.S. starts with a C. Does anyone remember?
Constitution.
Bam! The U.S. Constitution. Let's see if I can spell this morning. Awesome.
Constitution.
Good job, guys. And a problem is something that is hard to blank or deal with. Does anyone know this one? It's a little tricky. The answer is understand. A problem is something that is hard to understand and deal with. Leaders work blank in groups to think of ways to solve the problem. So do they work by themselves or do they work together? Nick, can you tell me? They work together. Very good. They work together to solve the problem. And lastly, blank can tell their leaders about the problems they see. You know?
Leader.
Yeah, well, who tells the leaders about the problems? The people. Anyone can tell their leaders.
Yes.
You can find out who is in charge of your district and you let them know if there's a problem that needs to be solved. Good job, Jonathan. The people. Very good. All right. So we're going to close with the video. I forgot to pull it up, so bear with me for a second. It is one of my favorite Schoolhouse Rock videos.
You sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will, but today I am still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.